is Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, born April 15, 1452 to May 2, 1519, was an Italian polymath of the High Renaissance, renowned as a painter, draftsman, engineer, scientist, theorist, sculptor, and architect. Often described as the archetype of the Renaissance man, he excelled in multiple fields, blending art with scientific inquiry. His insatiable curiosity led him to fill thousands of notebook pages with observations, sketches, and inventions, many of which were far ahead of his time. While best known for masterpieces like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, his contributions extended to anatomy, engineering, and mechanics, influencing modern technology in profound ways. Leonardo's life was marked by constant movement between Italian cities and France, driven by patronage, commissions, and his pursuit of knowledge. Listen to a chronological overview of his journey. Leonardo was born on April 15, 1452, in or near the Tuscan hill town of Vinci, Italy, as the illegitimate son of Ser Piero da Vinci, a wealthy Florentine notary, and Caterina di Mio Lippi, a young woman from a lower social class. His parents never married, and Leonardo grew up primarily on his paternal grandfather's estate in Vinci, receiving a basic and formal education in reading, writing, and arithmetic. He showed early artistic talent but did not study Latin rigorously until later in life. By 1457 he lived in his grandfather's household, and around age 14, mid-1460s, his family moved to Florence. Recognizing his potential, his father apprenticed him to the renowned artist Andrea del Verrocchio, a leading Florentine painter and sculptor. Over 7 years, Leonardo learned a wide range of skills, including drafting, chemistry, metallurgy, painting, sculpture, and mechanics. He collaborated on works like Verrocchio's The Baptism of Christ, circa 1472 to 1475, where his contributions such as the angel and landscape demonstrated superior skill. At age 20, Leonardo qualified as a master in the Guild of St. Luke in 1472, establishing his own workshop while continuing to collaborate with Verrocchio. His earliest dated work is a 1473 pen and ink drawing of the Arno Valley. He received his first independent commission in 1478 for an altarpiece and began the Adoration of the Magi in 1481, though it remained unfinished. During this time he faced personal challenges, including a 1476 sodomy accusation from which he was acquitted. In 1482, seeking better opportunities, he left Florence for Milan as an ambassador for Lorenzo de' Medici, presenting Ludovico Sforza with a silver lyre he designed. In Milan, Leonardo served as court painter and engineer to Duke Ludovico Sforza, listed as painter and engineer of the Duke. He completed 6 paintings, including the Virgin of the Rocks, circa 1483 to 1486, with a second version in 1508, and the monumental mural The Last Supper, 1495 to 1498, in the refectory of Santa Maria del Grazie. He designed court festivals, fortifications, and hydraulic systems, and worked on a massive bronze equestrian statue for Francesco Sforza, the Grand Cavallo, creating a clay model in 1493 that was destroyed during French invasions in 1499. Leonardo maintained a bustling workshop with apprentices like Giovanni Antonio Boltraffio and Salai. He also pursued scientific studies, filling notebooks with anatomical drawings and mechanical designs. In 1490, he consulted on Pavia Cathedral and traveled to Hungary. After Sforza's fall in 1499, Leonardo fled Milan, briefly working in Venice as a military architect and in Mantua for Isabella d'Este. Returning to Florence in 1500, he stayed at the Servite Monastery and created the cartoon for the Virgin and Child with Saint Anne and Saint John the Baptist. From 1502 to 1503, he served Cesare Borgia as a military engineer, mapping regions like Imola and planning a canal from Cesena to the sea. Back in Florence, he rejoined the Painters Guild and began the Mona Lisa, circa 1503 to 1519. He was involved in a committee for Michelangelo's David and spent 2 years on the unfinished mural The Battle of Anghiari, 1503 to 1506, in the Palazzo Vecchio. In 1506, he returned to Milan at the request of French Governor Charles d'Amboise, taking on pupil Francesco Melzi and focusing on scientific pursuits like anatomy and optics. In 1513, Leonardo moved to Rome under the patronage of Giuliano de' Medici, brother of Pope Leo X, residing in the Belvedere Palace. He worked on scientific projects including botany, anatomy, dissecting cadavers, and engineering like draining the Pontine marshes. Facing competition from younger artists like Raphael, he received fewer artistic commissions and experimented with varnishes and optics. In 1516, at age 64, Leonardo accepted an invitation from King Francis I of France, moving to the manor of Claus-Luce near the royal Château d'Amboise. He brought unfinished works like the Mona Lisa and served as premier painter and engineer and architect to the king, with a generous pension. Despite a stroke paralyzing his right hand, he continued advising on projects, designing a mechanical lion for royal pageants, and planning a palace at Romorantin. His health declined further, and he died on May 2, 1519 at Claus-Luce, aged 67. According to legend, he passed in the arms of Francis I, though this is debated. He was buried in the chapel of Saint Hubert at Amboise, with his remains later scattered during religious wars. His loyal companion Melzi inherited his estate and notebooks. Leonardo's achievements spanned art, science, and invention, often intertwining them. In his paintings, iconic works include The Last Supper, 1495 to 1498, a 15 by 29-foot mural depicting Jesus and the apostles with innovative perspective and emotional depth. Mona Lisa, circa 1503 to 1519, famous for its enigmatic smile and sfumato technique. The Virgin of the Rocks, 2 versions, and Lady with an Ermine, between 1489 to 1491. In his drawings and sculptures, thousands of sketches including the Vitruvian Man, circa 1490, illustrating human proportions, unfinished sculptures like the Grand Cavallo. In his study of anatomy and physiology he conducted dissections, producing detailed drawings of the human skeleton, muscles, heart, brain and reproductive systems, advancing understanding of blood flow and organ functions. In his scientific studies he explored optics, hydraulics, geology, and botany, with notebooks like the Codex Atlanticus containing plans for flying machines and submarines. Leonardo conceived hundreds of devices, many documented in his codices. Flying machines like ornithopters, gliders, helicopter, aerial screw, parachute. For military, tank, steam cannon, machine gun, 33-barreled organ, giant crossbow. In practical, automobile, self-propelled cart, robotic knight, diving suit, submarine, water walkers, anemometer, odometer. In engineering, bridges, canals with locks, worm gear, steam engine prototypes. Da Vinci impact on current technology. Leonardo's visionary ideas, though often unrealized in his lifetime, have profoundly shaped modern technology through inspiration and foundational principles. His emphasis on observation, mechanics, and interdisciplinary thinking continues to influence fields like aviation, robotics, medicine, and engineering. In aviation and flight, designs for ornithopters, gliders, and the aerial screw helicopter studied aerodynamics and lift, predating modern aircraft. The aerial screw inspired helicopter propellers. In 2019, University of Maryland students built a drone based on it. His parachute, tested successfully in 2000, influenced safety devices like car airbags. In robotics and automation, the Mechanical Knight, 2002 replica by NASA, and self-propelled cart, reaching 50 kilometers per hour in replicas, pioneered gears and springs, impacting modern robotics and autonomous vehicles. His automata, like the Mechanical Lion, inspired industrial automation. In medicine and biomedical engineering, anatomical studies, including the Vitruvian Man, viewed the body as a machine, influencing prosthetics and surgical tools. The Da Vinci surgical system, a robotic surgery robot used worldwide, is named after him for his precise anatomical work in early robotics. In military and vehicles, the armored tank with sloped armor influenced modern tanks designed for protection. His machine gun concept predated rapid-fire weapons. In engineering and mechanics, canal locks resemble those in the Panama Canal. The worm gear is used in elevators and heavy machinery for safe lifting. Steam cannon ideas contributed to steam engines, fueling the Industrial Revolution. In marine and measurement tools, diving suits and submarines inspired scuba gear and underwater vehicles. Odometers and anemometers are foundational to modern GPS and weather instruments. Leonardo's legacy endures because he anticipated technology centuries ahead, emphasizing empirical observation and innovation. Leave a comment in the comment section, like and subscribe on our Refilo Profiles channel for more videos.